We cordially invite you to be seated at the proceed chair in the main hall because in a few minutes the event will proceed in no time. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawala amma ba'du. The Honorable, Your Excellency Lieutenant General Retired Sanjal Kulkarni on online platform, former Director General of Infantry, Indian Army, New Delhi, Mr. Utpal Kaul, International Coordinator of Global Kashmiri Pandit Diaspora, New Delhi, our speaker from Universitas Muhammadiyah Jakarta, Mr. Ali Nur Zaman MA, and Ms. Debbie Avianti. The Honorable Mr. Vira Mala Anjaya, a senior journalist from Jakarta, and Ms. Lia Natalia, a senior journalist from Jakarta, and also Ms. Aswani Kumar Kangru, a well-known writer and activist from Jammu and Kashmir. Our moderator, Dr. Asep Setiawan MA, lecturer at Universitas Muhammadiyah Jakarta. The Honorable Vice Dean II of Faculty of Social and Political Science, Mr. Joni Gunanto, SIP MSI. Our host, Dr. Lucy Andriani, MSI, Head of Master in Political Science Program, Universitas Muhammadiyah Jakarta, and Dr. Usni, MSI, Head of Political Science Program, Universitas Muhammadiyah Jakarta. The Honorable distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, delegates from Government of Indonesia, international organization or embassies, research center, and press or media. And also all academians and participants offline and online from platform Zoom meetings and watching streaming on Visip UMJ YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to Auditorium Kasman Singo-Dimejo, Faculty of Social and Political Science, Universitas Muhammadiyah Jakarta. My name is Soja. It's an awesome and precious chance for me to be your Master of Ceremony in afternoon on Tuesday, October 24, 2023. In our agenda international seminar, Remembering Kashmir Carnage of October 1947. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, next we are going to singing Indonesia's national anthem and India's national anthem. To all attendees are pleased to be stand. For all attendees, keep stand because next India's national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Thank you to all attendees. Please be seated. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, our next agenda is welcoming remark from Vice Dean II of Faculty Social and Political Science, Mr. Joni Gunanto, SIPMSI. The stage is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kurang semangat. Kita ulangi ya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang, salam sejahtera buat kita semua. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, amma ba'd. Yang saya hormati Letjen Purnawirawan Sanjay Kulkarni, mantan Direktur Jenderal Infanteri Angkatan Darat IDIA. Yang saya hormati Bapak Utpaul Kaul, Koordinator Internasional Diaspora Pandit Kashmir Global. Yang saya hormati Mr. Aswani Kumar Trangro, seorang penulis dan aktivis terkenal dari Jammu dan Kashmir. Yang saya hormati narasumber dari FISIP Universitas Muhammadiyah Jakarta, Pak Ali Nurjaman, Bu Debi Apianti, Bu Lucy, dan yang saya hormati Bapak Piramala Anjiah, seorang jurnalis senior di Jakarta. Yang saya hormati Bu Lia Natalia, jurnalis senior dari Jakarta. Dan yang kita banggakan, moderator Bapak Dr. Asep Setiawan MA, yang sekaligus penggagas kegiatan pada siang hari ini. Kita berikan aplaus buat seluruh narasumber kita. Yang saya hormati Wakil Dekan 3, Bapak Dr. Pal Harmonis, yang sudah hadir di tengah-tengah kita. Dan yang saya banggakan mahasiswa ilmu politik serta mahasiswa FISIP UMJ yang sudah hadir di ruangan Aula Kasman Singo di Mejo. Izinkan saya mewakili Ibu Dekan, Profesor Dr. Afisat Tispi untuk memberikan sambutan pada acara International Seminar Remembering Kashmir Carnage of October 1947. Jadi mengenang pembantaian Kashmir pada Oktober 1947. Penting bagi mahasiswa hubungan internasional, mahasiswa FISIP Universitas Muhammadiyah Jakarta mengetahui, memahami tentang fenomena global, fenomena internasional. Sebelum kita mulai, saya mengajak hadirin semuanya untuk menundukkan kepala. Kita berikan doa karena ini adalah bagian dari tragedi kemanusiaan saudara-saudara kita di Palestina. Berdoa, kita mulai. Al-Fatihah. Amin. Terima kasih. Semoga Allah menangkan warga Palestina dan kuatkan para saudara-saudara kita di Palestina dalam rangka menegakkan kemerdekaan dan kedaulatan di negara Palestina. Hadirin yang saya hormati, izin Pak Asep pakai bahasa ibu. Tragedi Kashmir 1947. Ini adalah tragedi kemanusiaan di Jammu and Kashmir akibat perseteruan wilayah. Jadi Kashmir dan Kashmir ini daerah yang dulu dijajah oleh Britania Raya, Inggris, tapi ketika mereka berpisah, Jammu dan Kashmir tidak memposisikan diri sebagai bergabung antara ke Pakistan atau ke India. Jadi Jammu dan Kashmir itu negara bagian yang berbatasan dengan Pakistan, India, dan Cina. Nah, karena daerahnya subur, ini menjadi perebutan terutama dua negara. Padahal Kashmir itu sama dengan Indonesia, negara pluralis, negara yang heterogen, bahkan agama yang paling terbesar itu 67% adalah Islam. Selebihnya ada Hindu, India, dan Sikh. Nah, saudara-saudara sekalian, akibat tidak mau bergabung dengan Pakistan, maka Pakistan melakukan invasi. Pada bulan Oktober tahun 1947 terjadi pembantaian massal yang sangat luar biasa jumlahnya, sekitar 30.000 nyawa dan ribuan orang Kashmir diculik, dijual sebagai budak di Pakistan. Inilah tragedi kelam kemanusiaan di dunia internasional, terutama Jammu dan Kashmir, dan sampai hari ini. Nah, ketika diinvasi oleh Pakistan, Jammu dan Kashmir meminta pertolongan kepada India, sehingga dari situlah mulai konflik antara dua negara, India dan Pakistan, yang memperebutkan negara Jammu dan Kashmir. Jadi hari ini kita akan berdiskusi dalam seminar internasional. Mohon mahasiswa di semangat ya, kita memperkaya pengetahuan kita. Ada apa sebenarnya di tragedi Oktober 1947? Mohon diperhatikan. Dan bagi Indonesia, hal-hal yang bertentangan dengan pri kemanusiaan itu juga bertentangan dengan pembukaan Undang-Undang Dasar 1945. Jadi dalam rangka ini kita akan berdiskusi seminar internasional untuk membahas tentang pembantaian Kashmir pada Oktober 1947. Itu aja yang bisa saya sampaikan. Sekali lagi terima kasih pada para narasumber, pada Pak Asep, pada Pak Usni, ini Dr. Usni, SIPMSI, Kaprodi Ilmu Politik yang sudah hadir juga di ruangan ini. Dengan mengucap Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, seminar internasional pada siang hari ini sama-sama kita buka dengan baca lafaz basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Billahi bisabil haq, fastabiqul khairat. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi. Thank you, Mr. Joni Gunanto, SIPMSI, for the welcoming remark. Before we start to the main agenda, we want to wish for all distinguished speaker from India a very happy Dasara festival. And next, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the main agenda is discussion by our great speaker, which will be guided by the moderator, lecturer at Universitas Muhammadiyah Jakarta, Dr. Asep Setiawan. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much for opportunity this time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I would like to greet distinguished Dean of Faculty Social and Political Science. He's been represented by Pak Joni, and also to greet Vice Dean here, Pak Harmonis, and Head of Program Political Science, Pak Usni, and Master in Political Science, Ibu Lucy Andriani. Distinguished speaker, I would like to greet all distinguished speaker in online. Thank you very much for being with us, ladies and gentlemen, and also the student here. It is distinct honor and privilege to convene this international seminar at the Faculty of Social and Political Science, Universitas Muhammadiyah, Jakarta. Today, we are going to discuss the Remembering Kashmir Carnage of October 1947. Today, we have gathered a distinguished panel of 3 speakers from India. I would like to greet Lieutenant General retired Sanjay Kulkarni, Thank you very much, sir, for being with us today. A greeting from Tangerang Selatan, south of Jakarta. And also I would like to greet Mr. Utpal Kaul, International Coordinator of Global Kashmiri Pandit Diaspora. And also Mr. Aswani Kumar Chrango, a well-known writer and activist from Jammu and Kashmir. Three of the speakers will speak from New Delhi, two of New Delhi, and the third one from the Jammu and Kashmir. And also here we also for speaker from Indonesia, Mr. Ali Nurjaman, MA, Senior Lecturer at Universitas Muhammadiyah Jakarta, FISIP. Pak Ali, selamat sore. Terima kasih. And also Ms. Debbie Alfianti, MSc, a lecturer at Political Science Department, Muhammadiyah University Jakarta. Pak Peramala Anjaya, thank you very much with being with us as channel journalist from Jakarta Post. And all of them is scholars and experts in their respective fields to engage in our discussion and seminar today. Ladies and gentlemen, as we know that the seminar has been convened today with a set explicit objectives, tracing the origin of Kashmir Carnage, find out more on what happened on October 22nd, 1947, and analyze who was responsible for 1947 massacre, and also raising awareness on the present situation. We would like to extend our heartfelt welcome to our esteemed speaker, participants, and guests from India, Indonesia, and participants online also and offline here in Kasman Singo di Mejo Halls. For first speaker, I would like to request Lieutenant General Retired Sanjay Kulkarni for presentation, but before that, let me introduce the first distinguished speaker. Would you like to put online CV, Mr. Daman, for the Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni? He is Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, is retired general, was commissioned into Fort Kumaon in 1977. In his illustrious career of 39 years, he served in various types of terrain and participated in Operation Polar Bear and Operation Megdut as captain in 1983 and 1984. For leading his platoon to unfurl the national flag on Bilafondla, he was decorated with Shaurya Chakra. He commanded a Rashtriya Rifles Battalion in thick of the insurgency and later commanded an infantry battalion, an infantry brigades in a division along the line of actual control in Arunachal Pradesh, where he was decorated with the governor's gold medals. He is alumni of National Institute of Defense Studies, Japan, and National Defense College, New Delhi, and at last he retired as Director General Infantry. Thank you very much. Please welcome Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni. Please, would you like to invite the speaker from New Delhi, Mr. Sanjay Kulkarni. Namaskar. Thank you. Please.
Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Namaste, Salam Alaikum, Adab. At the very outset, I must say that I'm really honored to be a part of your seminar and also be a part of the distinguished panelists as also very well informed audience. Since our relationship with Indonesia dates back to the days of Mr. Biju Patnaik and the lovely relationship that we've had all along, and we wish the same always and every time in future also. For the next about 15 minutes that I have been given, we remember the Kashmir Carnage of October 1947. Now, first and foremost, a bit of history before we really step into what it is. Kashmir is about 222,236 square kilometers of an area, of which about 55% is in possession of India today. About 30% of Jammu and Kashmir, the erstwhile Jammu and Kashmir, now divided into two union territories, but we will, for the sake of discussion, today be able to say as Jammu and Kashmir. About 30% of Jammu and Kashmir is in possession of Pakistan, what is called as the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, and 15% of it is under the occupation of China. And if you see translated, it would work out about 35,000 square kilometers in possession of China, about 72,000 square kilometers in possession of Pakistan, which involves a thin slice of Azad Kashmir, what Pakistan calls it, and Gilgit-Baltistan, and the balance of it is all what is Jammu and Kashmir, now into two union territories as part of India, which became part of India on the 26th of October 1947. The whole of Kashmir by the instrument of accession, which was signed by the then Maharaja Hari Singh on the 26th of October 1947. As a part of history, we would say that there was a long period of Hindu kingdom, and the last of it was Kota Rani till about 1339. And after 1339, there for a long period, we've had the Mughals and the Afghans till about, you can say, 1819. And then from 1819 to about 1845, we have the Sikhs who are ruling this particular region. And then from 1845 till the 26th of October 1947, we have the Dogra rule. So we are really concerned with the last part, that is the Dogra rule. But a bit, if you know the history, then we understand what and how, what we are now calling as today's seminar, remembering the Kashmir Carnage of October 1947. Now, when the Sikhs had taken over this, and there was Maharaja Ranjit Singh who was ruling from Lahore, and that kingdom of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and when he died in 1839, it is at that point of time that we have what we call as Gulab Singh, who subsequently becomes the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir, who has been given what it was termed as he was called the Raja of Jammu by the Treaty of Lahore, and subsequently he then got by the Treaty of Amritsar the entire state of Jammu and Kashmir, what is called now, and he becomes the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, once he becomes the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir, and after the downfall of the Sikh Empire, and especially after Maharaja Ranjit Singh, who when he passed away in 1839, there's a problem in which Gulab Singh gives 27 lakhs of rupees to the Sikh Empire to be able to pay to their soldiers. And that by the Treaty of Lahore, then he becomes the Raja of Jammu. And by the Treaty of Amritsar, in which in the Sikh war with the British, where the Sikhs lose, the entire this thing is bought by the Gulab Singh by payment of 75 lakhs. And that payment of 75 lakhs, which then goes to the people there, he becomes what is called the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir. So having said that, you find the Maharaja Hari Singh, who takes over in the year of 1925 until he is the Maharaja of the Jammu and Kashmir till the 26th of October 1947. Even when Maharaja Hari Singh takes over, he is virtually, to be calling him an independent Maharaja would be incorrect. He was suzerain. to the British Empire, because British always had a resident, a commissioner, which was stationed in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So when he takes over in 1925, that is the first time where he introduces reforms wherein he allows the people of Jammu and Kashmir to go for higher education outside, and that's where for the first time when people like Sheikh Abdullah, Ghulam Ali Beg, all of them, Mirza Ali, all of them go out, study and return back to the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and they demand what it is called as a little more political freedom, the desire to grow. At this point of time, very important for all of us to remember is the year 1931. Because it is at this point of time in 1931 when in 1930 the Britishers asked Maharaja Hari Singh that he should lease Gilgit to them. Now, leasing Gilgit to them, Maharaja Hari Singh was considered that he might be a little pliant because the British were involved in his having become the Maharaja. Because the Maharaja before him, Pratap Singh, did not have a son. So Maharaja Hari Singh was the son of Amber Singh, the brother of Pratap Singh, got the throne primarily because the British allowed that to happen because they had wanting Amber Singh to keep an eye on Pratap Singh. So they ensured that that part of the promise was kept. Now Maharaja Hari Singh was thought that he would be pliant, so they asked for Gilgit in lease. Now why do they ask Gilgit in lease? Is because at that point of time it is presumed that there is a certain amount of nuclear deposits in the area of Xinjiang. Now, Xinjiang, before this, the British had got into a confrontation with the Russians, and therefore they wanted China to be a buffer between the Russians and Indians, and they, of course, the state of Jammu and Kashmir to act as a buffer, and the need to have Gilgit as on lease to the British was so that they could continue with the nuclear deposits that they then found in the area of Xinjiang. Now, as a backdrop, Maharaja Hari Singh refuses to give on lease Gilgit in 1930. In 1931, Abdul Qadir is a man who's propped up, who goes in for a kind of a mutinous speech against the Maharaja, which is supposedly, reportedly considered that he was propped up by the British to be speaking against the Maharaja. That is in 1931 when that thing happened. And on the 13th of July 1931, when he was being tried for, he's basically a Pashtun who was there. Also supposedly a cook of the then Westerly, who was a resident commissioner of the British in Kashmir. So as a result of this particular mutiny, which is 13th of July 1931. You must remember, 13th of July 1931, in which 22 Kashmiris lost their lives. As a result of this loss of life, we find that the Kashmiris till virtually, you could say, till the 5th of August 2019, when the abrogation of Article 370 took place, the Kashmiris celebrated it as a Martyrs' Day, which, well, whatever way disputed or whatever, that we will not go into details of it. But that is the context in which, and this is for the first time that Sheikh Abdullah orchestrates and Sheikh Abdullah is seen. Now the question arises, when we see this carnage that has taken place, and why has it happened on the 22nd of October 1947? Very important that the state of Jammu and Kashmir is accessed from what is today Pakistan, from a place called Wah to Abbottabad, from Abbottabad to Muzaffarabad, from Muzaffarabad to a place called Domail, and from Domail you could go to Uri, Baramulla, Srinagar. That is from the place of Wah, which was easier. Then there was Rawalpindi, from which you could access. Now from Rawalpindi you could go down to Murree you could go down to Kohala, and from Kohala you go down to Domail, and then of course again come on the way to Srinagar. The third route that was there was a place called Wazirabad, Sialkot, Suchetgarh. You went over, there was no tunnel like what it is there today. You went over Banihal, and then you went to Anantnag and went down to Srinagar. So these are the roads that were available to access. Now we find the place from Wah and Rawalpindi are blacktop roads which are easily accessible, open 365 days of the year. The one from Wazirabad via Sialkot, Suchetgarh, going over Banihal used to close around this time in October and would remain closed for winters because it was difficult to cross over. And then, of course, there were two airstrips, one at Jammu and the other one was at Srinagar. Now, when on the 15th of August 1947, when the British decided that all of them now have to decide whether they intend to join India or they want to join Pakistan, the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir, Hari Singh, dilly-dallied. And this procrastination which led on to what the problem or the legacy that we are left with. Now, he thought he would make his state as a Switzerland of the East, neither wanting to join Pakistan nor wanting to join India. Much at that point of time, Mountbatten, who was the Governor General, who was friendly with the Maharaja, did offer him that should he desire, the people in India wouldn't take it against him even if he wished to wanting to go to Pakistan. But he was quite clear that he didn't want to join Pakistan, but he was also not very clear as to whether he should join India or he should look for independence. Now, Muhammad Ali Jinnah had been visiting the state of Jammu and Kashmir. He had visited it 4 times earlier, and he realized that somehow he and Sheikh Abdullah, who was seen to be coming up, Sheikh Abdullah was a tall man, 6 feet 4 inches, had done his education from Aligarh Muslim University, had started with his political career under the Maharaja only while he was the Maharaja Hari Singh, and he found that somehow they were not clicking, and around again 1931, he forms what is called as a Muslim Conference. Now this Muslim Conference party which is formed has Mirwais, who's Omar Farooq Mirwais. Mirwais are those religious heads in Kashmir, who great-grandfather and of course Sheikh Abdullah decided to form what is called as a Muslim Conference. Now Jinnah was leader of the Muslim League. Now he wanted that there shouldn't be too many fronts and they should now merge with the Muslim League. But Sheikh Abdullah, knowing fully well that should he join Muslim League, he would lose his identity, he would lose whatever that he had as a kind of a representative of the Kashmiris that he thought he was, and it would not be good in his interest to join Muslim League. It would be better that he remain as what it be termed as a Muslim conference. However, since Pandit Nehru was a good friend of his, who proposed to him that it would be better that he renamed his party as National Conference, giving it a better representation to the others also. And listening to it, he renames it as the National Conference in around 1944. And it continues to remain as National Conference till date. And it is this National Conference, once it is formed, Sheikh Abdullah calls it as a Quit Kashmir movement. Now, in this Quit Kashmir movement, which was against the Maharaja Hari Singh, turns a little this thing in which Maharaja Hari Singh arrests Sheikh Abdullah, puts him behind bar, and now we find yet another that old party which was Muslim Conference had become National Conference. Under the Mirwais, the Muslim Conference is again given a little fillip. It comes and it now shows its affiliation towards Pakistan and wants that it would much better that they would align themselves with Pakistan. Sheikh Abdullah from day one was very clear that he didn't want Pakistan, but he wanted to step into the shoes of Maharaja and be seen as the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir, of course in a more democratic way, not in the kind of way that the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir was, but aim was only that he should just be able to move in. So Maharaja Hari Singh realized it, that on the 22nd of October 1947, the raiders had come right up to Muzaffarabad and had taken over Muzaffarabad. Now, all these raiders who were from the northwest frontier province, Masood, Mohammedan, Wazirs, Fatis, all these kind of tribal people who had joined them, there were about 5,000 number, under the leadership of then called Colonel Akbar, who became Major General Akbar Khan as part of Operation Gulmarg, decides to take over by total surprise. Now, what is important over here is that the supreme commander of both the dominions is Field Marshal Auchinleck. and Field Marshal Auchinleck remains the Supreme Commander till November of 1948. Now, this incident is November of 1947. Now, till November of 1948, Auchinleck remains the Supreme Commander. Now, both ends of whether it's India or it's Pakistan, you have the two chiefs who are British. You have over there until about 1948, till February 1948, being led in Pakistan, the Mesabi, and you have Lockyer in India, who continued to remain the chief, commander-in-chief, till December of 1947, to be taken over by Butcher till 15th of, or rather 14th of January 1949, when Field Marshal Cariappa later becomes the chief, the commander-in-chief. Over there, you have Douglas Gracie, who continues to remain the chief till 1951. So you realize that on both dominions, the top brass is all British. The commander-in-chief, the supreme commander, British. You have the governor-general in India, British, that is Lord Mountbatten. But Jinnah refuses to give the governor-generalship of Pakistan to him, and he says he would continue. So it's very difficult to be able to say that the Britons didn't know. The British, obviously, when you have the same set of people, from Cunningham, you find someone taking over, he comes over here as having become the commander-in-chief. Everybody knows everything. But somehow, since the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir hadn't signed the instrument of accession, there was no discussion of Jammu and Kashmir which would take place at a military intelligence level in the army headquarters in India. And the IB part had moved completely lock, stock and barrel. As luck would have it, fortunately or unfortunately, the top leadership of the information or of the IB went to Pakistan. The whole of it went to Pakistan. Now, as a result of which, you find that since it had gone to Pakistan, there was lack of intelligence which was now available in India. And in India, because of these refugees and the creation of the two countries, Pakistan and India, there was so much of internal disturbances that were taking place. So whole time was taken away by these internal disturbances settling down. And therefore, there was not much of attention being given, and much that the Britons, as I said, at both ends, the commander-in-chief and the supreme commander showed total ignorance of what was happening on the 22nd, and that's where the carnage starts. And how did it start? As I said, the roads from Wah, Rawalpindi, it came to Muzaffarabad, Domail, and continued. This area was occupied on the 22nd of October 1947, and all the raiders had been promised only two things. Therefore, the promise was that they could loot and they could take away any number of women from this area. That is what they would get for having sided along with the Pakistan army up to Srinagar. That means these 5,000 raiders, equipped with the most modern weapons, with everything that they could, with the leadership of the Pak army, which had just about switched over from British becoming the Pak army, under Akbar Khan, who was a Sanders qualified officer, who became a major general. Of course, later on, he was imprisoned because not that he failed only in Operation Gulmarg, but he attempted assassination of the Prime Minister of Pakistan called Liaquat Ali Khan. So in that, he was caught and he was imprisoned. Notwithstanding all that, on the 22nd of October, till they came, the Uri Bridge. Now, that is where the whole point starts and what happened on the 22nd of October. Eid is on the 25th of October, 1947. They promised Muhammad Ali Jinnah that they would make him celebrate Eid in Srinagar on the 25th of October, and hence the planning that the 22nd of October, which was a total surprise as nobody knew if they did it, and occupied Muzaffarabad, Domail. Now, between Gilgit and Suchetgarh is about 240 miles. Now, obviously, the troops on ground of the Maharaja were very limited in number, and so light that the complete, you could say that the disposition of these troops were known to everybody. The Pakistanis knew the disposition and how light they were. By 22nd of October, they had done away with all the resistance that they had up till Muzaffarabad and Domail. And what was the distance between Domail and Srinagar? 100 miles. That means on the 22nd of October, they were only 100 miles away from Srinagar. Then why could they not capture by Srinagar? Because the raiders had been promised loot and women. So as soon as they got closer to Baramulla, by seeing the wealth of Baramulla, they got involved into looting. And that loot in Baramulla led to their total, they wanted women, they wanted loot, and they wanted that to be taken by them into their respective homeland and not moved to Srinagar, knowing fully well that they wouldn't be staying in Srinagar. So it's so much better that they could take the loot back. And since the Uri bridge had also been blown up, it took about 2 to 3 days for it to repair, and that turned out to be the 26th. Now, the Maharaja at that point of time, realizing the danger to his kingdom, on the 24th of October, decided that he should seek the help from India to save his empire. He requested India, Mountbatten, that he should be able to help this thing. The government of India told him that, look, until and unless you sign the instrument of accession, there is no way we can give you help because you have not yet decided what you want to be. So he signs the instrument of accession on the 26th of October 1947, and on the 27th of October 1947, the Indian troops land, and they land at the Srinagar airfield, and from the Srinagar airfield, as luck would have it, as I said, all the roads, that is Wah, Rawalpindi to Muzaffarabad, Domail, were totally in the control of Pakistan. The one from Wazirabad, Sialkot, Suchetgarh, Jammu, over Banihal, going to Anantnag, Srinagar was a difficult route. Over here, one brigade, the 50 Para Brigade, was sent by road, and the other 161 Brigade was being flown in by the aircraft. All the aircraft that were mustered. And now, what surprised Pakistan was that they never expected India to mobilize so fast and be able to put in troops into Srinagar. The Srinagar was the price catch, and price catch, the Pakistanis could not take it. The Indians took it, and then from there on, they pushed and moved their troops to Baramulla, Uri, and they could have even gone up to Domail and Muzaffarabad had it not been for the army headquarters, which was then totally governed by the Britishers, that they could not move in. So it was in this context that we realized that how slowly and steadily the Bakr Eid, which was so-called considered that they would be able to celebrate, could not be done. And 26th of October, the instrument of accession was signed, which was the same as all the other principalities that signed and all the other kingdoms that signed with the government of India. So there was no difference. Now, who is responsible? The last bit, I'll just take 2 minutes. Who is responsible?
Please,
the British knew what was going on.
Mr.
To say
Sanjay,
that they didn't know
the
would
time
be wrong.
is 2
Well,
minutes.
was it
2 minutes more, please.
the raiders who were attempting to do what they did over there? Yes, to a large extent, the Pakistanis and the raiders who failed to be able to go beyond, because loot and women was what was promised to them and nothing else, and they could not go beyond it. The mobilization by India, which led to the occupation of the Srinagar airfield, which led obviously then the subsequent till 1st of January 1949 when the ceasefire was made. And now we see that since the abrogation of Article 370, you find there's a lot of sea change that has taken place now in the valley, primarily because the people over there realize that the political parties from the valley seem to be double talking and not really looking at it, invariably asking for some foreign help at some point of time. And therefore, the people there of Jammu and Kashmir have realized that it would be better, and it's their interest of that their future lies with India. And the 5th of August 2019, the abrogation of Article 370, which has led to tremendous amount of development in the valley, both in terms of tourism, in terms of employment, in terms of their confidence, in terms of their safety, security. And so hopefully Pakistan, which uses terrorism as an instrument of state policy, slowly and steadily would realize that it is worthless, and it is a people-centric solution to whatever problems that there are, which are being addressed to as of now.
Thank you.
And I would end at this point of time because of the paucity of time. And thank you very much. I'll take on your questions in the question-answer session.
Thank you very much. Applause for Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni. Thank you very much again, sir. We are very happy to hear your explanation, basically his story of Maharaja Hari Singh when joined India 1947. I think students hopefully understand, and then we can describe from Parmala. Thank you very much again. Now the second speaker is Mr. Utpal Kaul. basically he is international coordinator of Global Kashmir Pandit Diaspora. He is familiar face with our campus, has already appeared in some international seminar here in campus through the online, and in Jakarta also through in the other session. But we would like also Mr. Utpal Kaul for presentation. Then I would like to introduce briefly his short biography. Please on screen, Mr. Daman. Mr. Utpal Kaul, the international, as I mentioned, the international coordinator for Global Kashmiri Pandit Diaspora, or GCPD, is a scholar, writer, community activist, leader, and spokesperson of Kashmir Pandit community. He has been an activist for more than 4 decades. He studied at the Kashmir University. During his university days, he was elected as president of Kashmir University Student Union. He has participated in national and international debates and seminars on Kashmir. Mr. Utpal Kaul has led many protests to get justice for his community. He met various presidents, prime minister, and parliamentarians to appraise them on Kashmir situation. And he has published more than 100 books on Kashmir. He regularly participates in live television debates. So he has already mentioned author of more 100 books. So please welcome Mr. Utpal Kaul for around next 15 minutes.
Very good afternoon and namaste. Happy Dashara to all of you. Today it is the day of finishing of the evil, and let the justice and truth come to the whole world. Let God Almighty, Lord Rama and Goddess Durga bless all the people around the world. I am really honored. Your institution and university, Mohammedan University, and your institution is a great institution, and I am really happy. Once again, I think it is my 5th time to address scholars and students and faculty and people around the globe who are listening to us this debate. I am very happy particularly that you all are discussing about my motherland, about my birthplace, about the place which is more than 5,000 to 7,000 years old. And as I have already said many times, that as India and Indonesia, they have the same kind of ideology, same kind of democracy, and people of all faiths live together.
Please continue, Mr. Utpal Kaul, as a little bit noise from the others participants. Pak Daman, please consider to mute the other participants. Please, Pak Utpal Kaul, continue your presentation.
It's a very, very special bondage and love for Indonesia, in the sense nearly 2,000 years back, our scholars visited Indonesia. And a lot of research has been already done, but more we need to know how we two civilizations, two people were in regular contact. But here, we are not talking of ancient history. We are talking of what happened only 75 years back. And I am very happy that it was really a matter of great pleasure to listen our respectable Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni ji, how graphically he said about the history of India, history of Kashmir, and how beautifully he explained the topography of whole of Jammu and Kashmir. Basically, we say Kashmir, but we have to understand that it is basically three parts. One is Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh. But then we have also Gilgit, Muzaffarabad, Mirpur, Bimbar, that is now in POK. This whole territory of Jammu, Kashmir, Ladakh, Gilgit, it was territory of Maharaja, which Lieutenant General now said. So according to the Independence Act, there was two choices, one to join the Pakistan and another to join India. This was for those with the British, where the British were ruling. And the majority Muslim could go to Pakistan and majority Hindu could go to India if they want. But at the same time, there were 564 kingdoms or princely states. They had their own decision. As Kulkarni ji just now said, that all decided either Pakistan or India. But Jammu and Kashmir had a special topographical position. So it was on the border. So Maharaja took some time because there was some kind of an imperial game from the Britishers also. They wanted him to be independent so that they can have much role. Because Jammu and Kashmir, particularly the area of Ladakh and Gilgit, had a very, very special position vis-a-vis Russia, China, and Central Asia. But Pakistan really wanted, because Jammu and Kashmir was a Muslim majority, so that they can join Pakistan. But the problem was Jinnah, who was the leader of the Muslim League, had no following in Kashmir. Kashmir had its own leader, Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah. He was the leader of majority. He was the leader of the Muslims. And he was more akin to Nehru, Gandhi, and with Congress. So when we talk of accession of Jammu and Kashmir, which happened on 26th of October 1947, it was not only the decision of the Maharaja who signed the instrumental treaty, but it was the decision of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, Dogras, Ladakhis, and at the same time the leader of majority party of leader of Muslims, Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah. It was a joint decision in a way. But Pakistan didn't like it, as Kulkarni ji said, that how this Pakistan organized under Akbar Khan attack on Jammu and Kashmir. And they call it, we Kashmiris also call it Kabul loot, how the Kabalis have looted. That they have come from northwest frontier province, and these were 5,000 people with automatic and semi-automatic weapons. But in fact, it was camouflaging of Pakistani army. It was Pakistani army, it was the Rangers who directly helped them. They paid them money, and they were also asked that whatever you will loot, whatever you will get majority share in that. And I remember last time Dr. K.N. Pandita was me in this seminar, and he was the director of Central Asian Studies of Kashmir University, and he explained that how his house was totally looted in Baramulla. When the Kohala Bridge, the Ori Bridge, how the powerhouse was damaged, and it was catastrophe. It was such a surprise. And Maharaja was in big surprise. His army was in big surprise because nobody understood and knew that it is only few months that India and Pakistan are independent that Pakistan will organize such attack on Jammu and Kashmir, because they had some kind of obsession And I can say here that I think indirectly, the British army, because British was the army chief both in India and Pakistan, and they helped Pakistan, as we know of the story of Gilgit also. So it was terrific, because I remember, I know my relations, how they were attacked, how so many were killed. There was an attack on the hospital. It was a Christian CMS hospital, Christian missionary hospital, how nurses were raped and killed, and it was terrific. And they took some locals, and then they were telling them to identify who is the Christian, who is the Hindu, who is the Sikh. And they first attacked them. But it was the great Maqbool Sherwani. We all Kashmiris call him the great martyr. He showed, when they asked him, where from is the road from Baramulla to Srinagar? He showed them the wrong road. And it got delayed till the Indian army organized the biggest military operation after World War II. As our Lieutenant General just now said, how Pakistan was in big surprise, how they arranged aeroplanes, aircrafts, helicopters, whatever was available from the ground to air, and how the Indian army and some particular Sikh regiments, how they gave big sacrifice. They became martyrs, these paratroopers, when they were dropped from aeroplanes to the Srinagar airport. But for 1 week, it was a terrific fight. And in this fight, these Kabalis, or what we call them, tribal and regular Pakistani army, were forced to go back to their homes, and many were killed. But it was not only this side of Kashmir. They also tried from the Ladakh side, that means this Gilgit side. They also tried from Dras. They also tried from Muzaffarabad and Jammu, Poonch, Rajouri. And so it was a regular war almost for 3 months. But I will not discuss all that, as we know that nearly 35,000 people were massacred because of, more than 35,000 people were massacred because of this tragedy, or this what the Pakistanis unleashed on people of Kashmir. And so they also started the narrative that these Muslims of Kashmir, they want to join Pakistan. But as I told you, that Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah, he preferred India, and his whole family was in safe zone in Indore with the Hulkar family. And it was a great sacrifice by Indian army that the people of Kashmir, people of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, are enjoying full freedom. They are enjoying what democracy is, and they are enjoying development. And I may tell you, as a Kashmiri, that how special status was for us, not only political, which was known as Article 370, that we will give special status to Kashmir, but economically also. When rest of India, people were given rice and flour for 2 rupees, as Kashmiris we were getting for 40 paisa. So within no time, big secretariat was built in Kashmir, in Srinagar, in Jammu. National highway was built. Banhal BC Road, which was known as Banhal Cart Road, it was road for the carts. It became a national highway, and so much hospitals, schools, and two universities, Jammu University, Kashmir University, and now today we have 13 universities in Kashmir. Imagine 13 universities in Jammu and Kashmir, and if you see there is only one university, and University of Muzaffarabad in POK. And earlier, for last 60, 70 years, Pakistan's only narrative was that ours is Azad Kashmir. And in fact, now we understand they are the rare Ghulam. They are not Azad. Azad are people, those who enjoy the real democracy, who live in Jammu and Kashmir. And there is now the processions are there in Muzaffarabad, in Kotli, in Bimbar, in Pakistan, that they say that we don't want to be with Pakistan. They are opposing Pakistani army, and they are saying that they have taken our land. And they are protesting in Gilgit. They are protesting in Baltistan. And so they think these Punjabis dominating the army and the government of Pakistan, they are dominating us. And there is a big narrative now in Pak-occupied Kashmir that we want to be with India, we want to be with Jammu and Kashmir. It is because they have seen the progress. They have seen what India is. India is a 80% majority Hindu country, but it is equal right for Muslims. It is equal right for Sikhs. It is equal right for Christians and Buddhists. And same way is in Kashmir. And now see, the world knows in India, the president of India was Muslim. Vice president was Muslim. Army chief was Muslim. Navy chief was Muslim. Indian cricket, hockey captains were great and great players. Great actors are Muslims. So there is each and every person has equal opportunity according to his capacity and capability. And same is for all Kashmiris. And we have great Kashmiris who are doing extremely well, great doctors. Even in Middle East and in Arabian countries are Muslim and Kashmiri Hindu doctors around the world, great engineers, great professors. But if we see in POK, no education, no development. You cannot go, if I go on in the temple from morning till evening, yes, I may get little bit of satisfaction, but with the modern world, I have to, if I want to use the computer, if I want to use the mobile, if you want to go in the aeroplanes, we have to understand and educate ourselves with the modern education, with the engineering, with the what is happening around the world, with the development, but keeping our culture, our civilization, which is thousands of years old. And we can have the example of India, we can have the example of Indonesia. And if we have these kind of examples to our future generation, there will be no carnage. There won't be another 1947, 22nd and 24th of October, where thousands of houses of Kashmiri Hindu. Hello?
Yes, continue, Mr. Utpal Kaul. Sorry for
Yes.
disturbance.
So what I want to say that I remember that when my elders were discussing what happened to their houses, what happened to their agriculture, what happened to their shops, how in the compound of my relations, pregnant woman with the child was killed. And so there are horrific stories which I don't want to tell here. So it was just inhuman. But truth always prevails. And that truth is that India has shown that Kashmir will get the same opportunity as Delhi, as Mumbai, as Indore or Bangalore. So this is the time, as our scholarly journal just now said, after Article 370, everybody is seeing how much development has come. We have organized G20 in India, and there was a special session of G20 in Kashmir. So everybody saw how the development from education, from healthcare, from railways, from roads. So the development of Kashmir is so much, and there is hardly any uneducated person. If we see now in Jammu and Kashmir, we have nearly 95% people are educated. So let us make our society as such that there will be no carnage, and there we Indians and Pakistanis who speak same language, we have same dress, we have same food, we understand each other well. But we have two ways of thinking, we have two ways of doing things. And the reason is, now India is the fourth biggest economy, and India is going to be third biggest in a couple of years. $5 trillion economy. And so Pakistan must learn lesson from this, and they should not. I have to give one example. One of my Norwegian friends who had come to India, when I told him I am from Kashmir, he told me, I have been to Kashmir. I said, which place? He said, no, not this Kashmir. I have been to POK. I said, what for? He said, I wanted to have some industrial exchange because I have industry of knives. We make knives and razors. And so he said, I was shocked to see in POK there was only small or big industry that was making the weapons. Can you believe it? You have only industry to make weapons, and you don't have industry for the common good, for the common things. You don't have industry. You can develop a wonderful textile industry. You can have food. You can have processed food. You can have much of industry. But when you tell people lies that only we can be true Muslims and we are going to fight jihad against India, against the Hindus, I think we have to learn what Indonesia is. Indonesia is the great path for the world to see how the different religions, different people can live together. And that is my take this time. And thank you very much again for inviting me here in this great institution and before the August gathering and wonderful and fantastic scholars. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Applause for Mr. Utpal Kaul. Thank you very much again. Indeed, very good insight for the background of Kashmir, because Mr. Utpal Kaul basically he is origin for Jammu Kashmir, so he understand. We will still have a question and answer later, but Mr. Utpal Kaul, I believe, have another engagement. So thank you very much again for being with us here. And before we continue, we would like to invite Miss Natalia, Ibu Natalia, for join us here with the panelists. Welcome to the seminar. And again, I believe Mr. Aswani Kumar Chengo has already, Mr. Aswani Kumar Chengo has already online. And then he is well-known writer and activist from Jammu and Kashmir. And I think Mr. Aswari Kumar Chengo is speaking from Jammu and Kashmir, ya Pak Peramala. Thank you very much again. Let me briefly mention a background of Aswani Kumar Chengo. He is a prolific writer. It's mean a very productive writer and an activist from Jammu and Kashmir, India. He was born on March 19, 1958. After graduating from Kashmir University through Islamia College of Science and Commerce, Srinagar, he took up a number of social welfare projects in erstwhile district of Doda in J&K State, and worked there for 3 years as Rastriya Swayamsevak, District Pracharak. Mr. Ashwani worked as a field officer in Regional Rural Bank, Bank, for 1 year, and joined as District Saving Officer in National Saving Organization, GOL, in Udhampur District in 1982. He joined State Bank of India back in Kashmir Valley and worked in bank for 25 years, so long, and took voluntary retirement in the year 2007 to devote full time to social cause. Mr. Aswani has visited Netherlands, France, Belgium, Germany, South Korea, UK, US, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Nepal in this regard. He was associated with Netherlands-based organization, Global Human Rights Defense, and for more than 5 years, 2003-2009, as the representative observer in JK State. So welcome, Mr. Aswani Kumar Chungo, for about 15 minutes. Please unmute the sound, Mr. Ashwani, from your laptop.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed.
Of the university for this historic conference that's being observed by many as one of the milestones in an intellectual activity that can lead all of us to some kind of conclusion, some kind of way ahead in regard to Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir historically has been, as has been said, a fountainhead of Vedic civilization. Jammu and Kashmir is what we can call the fountainhead of the civilization that India has. Many people say that Jammu and Kashmir is an extension of the Indian civilization, but I say India is an extension of the civilization of Kashmir. Kashmir has been the cradle of humanitarian efforts to make humanity somewhat akin to the natural instincts, natural way of living, and a natural form of living among everyone. It is basically the cradle of coexistence. It is basically the cradle of and the fountainhead of looking towards each other as the manifestation of God, as the manifestation and form of humanity. Our history never believed in segregating people because of their thoughts, because of their political thinking, because of their special kind of religious beliefs. We always said that ekam sadvipra bahuda vadanti, which would mean that there is one truth and everyone who is a knowledgeable person would lead to that truth in his own way and style and manner. That is what is known as what we call as the civilization of India, which I continue to believe and practice is the extension of the civilization of Kashmir. At an outset, I would first of all congratulate you on this day, which signifies Dashara Vijayadashmi, which signifies the victory of truth over the untruth, the victory of good over the evil, and the victory of good over the bad. On this special occasion, this is also important to say that the topic we are discussing basically today is an outcome of a thinking that was not akin to the thinking of India for the last thousands of years. And the thinking was initiated almost in 1930 to 1940 period in the Indian, now called subcontinent. At that time, it was basically Bharat or India. And what was the thinking? Thinking was that Hindus and Muslims cannot live together. There is no possibility of living together of Hindus and Muslims once Britishers would leave India. This was the basic fault line. This was the basic fault line that brought all kinds of tragedy, all kinds of carnage, and all kinds of human tragedies, including the transfer of population, killing of people, and human rights violations of a vast number of people on both the sides of the border, both in India as well as in Pakistan. This idea of non-existence led to a belief, and also as it was supported by the Britishers, it led to a belief that we could have another nation separately for Muslims, and the nation that we had earlier, which was called Bharat, India, would be exclusively for Hindus. But the leadership of India at that time did not endorse this thinking. They said that India will remain a secular republic, and we would be having all faiths, all communities, and all regional identities within India, and we will coexist. But Pakistan chose the other way. It declared itself as the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, and India declared itself as the Republic of India with secular and democratic constitution. That was the fundamental difference between India and Pakistan. India continues to believe that the idea of not existing together was not akin to the idea of India. It was an idea brought from outside and was not akin to our thinking how life goes. The moment this idea of creating another country named Pakistan was given a practical shape, at that very moment, Pakistan started to think in terms of having a war with the original country that was India. Immediately, as Major General Akbar Khan of the Pakistan Army details this meticulously, how planning was done, how involvement of Pakistan was behind the Kashmir invasion, and how 20 Lashkars, that would mean tribal militias, each consisting of 1,000 Pashtun tribesmen from northwest frontier province, were to be recruited from among various Pashtun tribes, arms, and sent to Jammu and Kashmir. Unfortunately, Jammu and Kashmir did not accede to India exactly around 15th of August because of various reasons. I would not like to go into those details. But it went into a standstill agreement with Pakistan. Only after signing of the agreement, standstill agreement, Pakistan sent him a warning note. And the warning note says that the time has come for the Maharaja of Kashmir that he makes his choice and choose Pakistan. Should Kashmir fail to join Pakistan, the gravest possible trouble will inevitably ensue. This is dated 24th August. It means Pakistan was thinking in terms of an invasion in Kashmir and war with India. Right before October September, it was preparing for this even in August. And then what followed was to create a rebellion within the Maharaja's army, particularly in four areas, four districts. The first was Gilgit, the second was Muzaffarabad, the third was Mirpur, and the fourth was Baltistan. These were the four districts where the state army was induced through a number of agents belonging to the Britishers. I would not like at this point of time hesitate in speaking that the Britishers were hand in glove with Pakistan at this time to create an unpalatable situation in the state army of Jammu and Kashmir, which had not joined Republic of India at that point of time. This created a situation, particularly in Gilgit, where Brigadier Gansara Singh, who was the governor in Gilgit, was arrested and put into detention by his own forces. The same thing, almost the same thing happened in Mirpur and Muzaffarabad. In Muzaffarabad, it was a very tragic kind of a thing that was followed simultaneously in Mirpur as well as in Bhimber, Poonch, and Kotli. All these places were virtually invaded by the tribesmen along with the Pakistan army, and thousands of Hindus and Sikhs were massacred, their women were raped, and their young daughters were taken to Waziristan, were taken to Peshawar, were taken to Lahore and other places where they were pressed into slave sex business. This is the tragic story of 1947 Carnage, which we, the civilized people, tried to put behind the historical pages, because we have a tendency to put the pain behind our smiling faces. That has been the historical truth. We try to put behind the pain of history behind our smiling faces. It may be courageous, but at the same time, what it does not give the true facets of history to our future generation. Then what happened? When the army came into, the Pakistan army, along with the tribesmen, when they came into Uri and Baramulla and then to Patan, Shalteng and other areas, including Kupwara, Padgam, they had only two agendas at that point of time. They were clearly given a direction by the Pakistan army that the land that you will cover will belong to Pakistan, and the loot you will do will belong to you. And what was the loot? Loot included three things. Number one, women of minorities. Number two, loot included all those belongings which we had at our homes and the money. For all these three things, they killed not less than 5,000 of people. 5,000 of people belonging to various communities, predominantly Hindus and Sikhs. But they did not even leave Christians, they did not even leave nuns, pastors, and St. Joseph school in Baramulla and its hospital. They went ahead to kill even the pregnant woman in the hospital. They went into the hospital and went with a carnage which is unheard in the history. Then they moved to Patan, Then they tried to move to Srinagar. On both sides of the road, they killed people, bringing them to the banks of Jahannam, asking their names, and then firing upon them, putting them in a line, and then firing upon them. And then kicking those bodies into Jahannam. This did not happen only in Baramulla, Patan, and near Srinagar. This also happened in the areas where from this Krishna Ganga, which is now known as Neelam, flows. Almost 3,000 women jumped into, 3,000 women from the communities of Sikhs, communities of Hindus, particularly Rajputs, Brahmins. They were forced to jump into Krishna Ganga, Chenab, and Jahannam. This is 1947 carnage. When we are talking of carnage, we have to give a picture of what actually happened. What actually happened is not only this, that the military came and they wanted to take away the land. That was definitely the state of Pakistan's known political agenda and military agenda. But what happened along with this was that almost 30,000 people lost their lives. As has been said by Mr. Utpal Kohl also, that Maqbool Shirwani was killed in Baramulla. Not only that, we lost a number of great soldiers and generals. Brigadier Rajendra Singh, he got killed. Major Somnath Sharma in the Badgaon war, he got killed. Unfortunately, all these martyrdoms, all these sacrifices that we made could not bring the land that was lost by us up to 31st of December 1947, because on 1st January 1948, both India and Pakistan decided to go for the ceasefire. This was a fault line after 1947's fault line of accepting the non-coexistence theory. This was the second fault line, that we went for the ceasefire on 1st of January 1948 without retrieving those areas which were taken away by the tribals and the military of Pakistan. Illegal. Unfortunate part is that we try to justify what Pakistan did at that point of time by our inaction, not asking the army of India to proceed towards Muzaffarabad, Mirpur, Gilgit and Baltistan. This was the major fault line of the political leadership of India, which army never agreed, but were forced to agree upon at that point of time. Our army at that time wanted the political leadership to take a position and let them go and retrieve all those areas which were part of Jammu and Kashmir state, the erstwhile part of Jammu and Kashmir state. We lost the areas of Ladakh, we lost the areas of Gilgit, we lost the areas of Baltistan, we lost the areas of Punjabi speaking areas known as Punch, Mirpur and Muzaffarabad. But unfortunate part, the third fault line was that Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, took this issue to the United Nations. And he did it on the advice of the then Governor General, who was also a Britisher, Lord Mountbatten. Lord Mountbatten wanted Jawaharlal Nehru to accept this. But at that point of time, he asked him that he should go to Pakistan and along with the leadership of Pakistan, he should discuss this issue there. But Because of ill health, Jawaharlal Nehru did not go to Pakistan. Mountbatten went and he asked
Yeah.
Jinnah to go to go to the United Nations for the resolution.
There are
Jinnah did not agree.
2
Jinnah
minutes.
did not agree.
There are 2
And
minutes
when
more,
he
Mr.
came back, he told the same thing to Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru went along with him and they filed the case in the United Nations, which is the third fault line. The fourth fault line is that we did not envisage that Pakistan, after getting defeat after defeat by India in its three
Thank
wars,
you. We have
would
2 minutes more. sir.
also come to the level to resort to cross-border terrorism. That was the fourth fault line.
Yeah, 2 minutes
All
more.
these fault lines were created by the political leadership of India, and this carnage happened because we accepted one theory, the wrong theory. That was we could not coexist. This theory was unleashed by Britishers along with the Muhammad Ali Jinnah. They were the architects of this theory that we could not live together. At this point of time, when we are in the modern world, we have to seek and we have to learn lessons from what actually we got because of this partition
1 minute
based
more,
on
sir.
based on non-coexistence. This is the world where we should go straightway against the non-existence theory wherever we are. This is the world which cannot live without having partnerships, without having friendships, without having brotherhood. That is why India is so
1 minute more, sir, please.
friendly with Indonesia and the countries like Indonesia. We go to the extent to include everyone along with our march, and we would love to move ahead along with everyone. We would love to go ahead and achieve progress, prosperity for everyone, having hand in hand with everyone. That is the philosophy of India for the last thousands of years, and this is the time to translate that philosophy into action and make also Pakistan, which is at this point of time, because of its ideology that it created, I say it is in the deepest state of international isolation and is suffering from and is a victim of psychological surrender. That
Thank-
can be seen in all fields in which we want to explore what Pakistan today is.
1 minute
This
more,
is
please.
the result. This is the result of 1947. Thank you very much. So kind of.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Aswani Kumar Churungo, and applause for detailed explanation, not only historical background, context, even nowadays context in Kashmir. Thank you very much. We still have a Q&A later after the all speaker present their view. Next, we would like to invite Mr. Feramala Anjaya, of course, here from the Kasman Singo di Mejo Halls. And let me introduce first detail of background Mr. Feramala Anjaya. He is a senior journalist and has worked for the Jakarta Post quite very long, 1995 to 2020. So it is 25 years for Jakarta Post based in Jakarta. He holds Master of Philosophy and PhD degree in Southeast Asia and Southwest Pacific Study from the School of International Study, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, India. And the dissertation title is Unequal Partners, the Philippines-U.S. Relation 1946-1957. And master degree in history from University Madras, India, and bachelor of degree from Osmania University, Hyderabad, India. English, economic history, and political science as major subject. Please welcome Mr. Velamala Anjaya for presentation. Yes, please, if you want to stand up in the platform. Please.
Faculty members of the University of Muhammadiyah Jakarta and fellow my distinguished my fellow speaker, Mr. Moderator, all the students of the University of Muhammadiyah Jakarta. Actually, today my topic is who was behind the Kashmir movement of October 1947. Yeah, hello, thank you. Yeah. On October 22nd, 1947, Kashmir witnessed a horrific turning point when 20,000 Pashtun tribal militia, accompanied by the Pakistan Army, launched Operation Gulmarg. On what was marked as the beginning of the First India-Pakistan War, the militia advanced near the Jammu and Kashmir capital Srinagar and not only committed genocide against the Kashmiris but also looted and raped them and murdered them. The conflict claimed over 35,000 lives, with thousands of being kidnapped and sold as slaves in Pakistan. Next slide, please. Yeah, at the time of India was controlled by the British colonial regime, it was made up of 562 states which were ruled by local kings or nawabs. British India was then divided into two countries from August 14 to 15, 1947, based on religion. These two countries were India and Pakistan, which included present-day Bangladesh. The states were given the option to join India, Pakistan, or remain independent. Most joined India while some joined Pakistan, but the Muslim majority Jammu and Kashmir was one state which delayed its decision. Next slide, please. Yeah. Jammu and Kashmir, like Indonesia, is a multi-religious society. Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, and Christians lived harmoniously with their Muslim neighbors. The J&K ruler, Maharaja Hari Singh, who was a Hindu, did not decide until October 1947. Meanwhile, Pakistan was impatient and wanted to seize the state by any means. That was why it decided to initiate Operation Gulmarg. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. So first time hostilities, Maharaja Hari Singh asked India for help and signed the accession treaty on October 26, 1947. The next day, India airlifted its soldiers to Srinagar. Only then could Indian troops enter Jammu and Kashmir and liberate the Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh regions. Next slide, please. Yeah. Another horrific incident occurred on November 2, 1947 in Mirpur. Pakistan's invaders killed around 25,000 Hindus and Sikhs. They threw the dead bodies into the Jhelum river and forcefully brought Hindu women to Pakistan to sell them to Rawalpindi brothels. Around 400 women jumped into walls in Mirpur, committing suicide to escape abduction. On a more disturbing note, parents across Jammu and Kashmir were poisoning or killing their daughters to protect them from the Pakistani militia. Even Kashmir Muslims who opposed Kashmir joining Pakistan were targeted. Pakistan labeled them as traitors and gave them the same treatment as the Hindus and Sikhs. Next slide, please. The first Indo-Pak war ended on June 5, 1949 with a United Nations ceasefire agreement. Frustrated, Pakistan started two more wars with India in 1965 and 1999 over the Kashmir issue. However, it lost in both wars. Ultimately, Pakistan was able to hold its authority in the area now called Pakistan-occupied Kashmir or Azad Kashmir, as well as Gilgistan-Baltistan region, after the establishment of the line of control which separates the Indian side of Kashmir and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The international community must acknowledge what had happened in Jammu and Kashmir. There should be international sanctions placed on Pakistan for supporting terror groups in Jammu and Kashmir. It is a fact that India had acquired Jammu and Kashmir through legal means, which Pakistan took portions of Kashmir through illegal and violent means. Since then, Pakistan has been sending terrorists and weapons to Indian Jammu and Kashmir, funding separatist movements and training terrorists to launch attacks in India. Pakistan-supported terrorists have launched several attacks on civilians and security forces in Jammu and Kashmir for several decades. Next slide, please. On the other hand, Jammu and Kashmir has enjoyed a special status and more power than other Indian states since merging with India. To create a peaceful environment and boost economic development, the Indian government decided to remove Article 370 and 50 from the Constitution on August 5, 2019. Jammu and Kashmir today is equal to all other states and union territories in India. With its new status, Jammu and Kashmir has been moving in the right direction during the last 4 years. Civilian unrest and terrorist attacks have come down drastically. The government has allocated more funds for infrastructure development in various areas. More jobs have also been created through various projects. Next slide, please. Jammu and Kashmir plan rests on 5 pillars: humanitarian relief, crisis management, social infrastructure, development projects, and economic infrastructure. These pillars have ensured a turnaround of employment, income generation, and rehabilitation of livelihoods. In the past 4 years, much progress has been achieved in Jammu and Kashmir. Despite this, there is still a long way to go to turn the troubled region into a peaceful, prosperous, and developed territory. So actually, who was behind the Kashmir carnage was Pakistan military, Pakistan militia. They were committed a huge genocide in Jammu and Kashmir. So that's why international community must support the Black Day on October 22nd of Jammu Kashmiri people commemorating the Black Day. And also Pakistan should be imposed international sanctions because they are still supporting terrorism openly. So this is the one. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Applause for Mr. Peramal Anjaya. Thank you very much indeed, Pak Peramal Anjaya. Pak Peramala is familiar with us and already spoken various events in international seminar here and other places. Next speaker is Pak Ali Nur Zaman. Pak Ali is Secretaris Program of Political Science at Faculty of Social and Political Science, Universitas Muhammadiyah Jakarta here. Pak Ali was alumni of Universitas Islam Negeri Sunan Kalijaga, Yogyakarta, right? And then master degree at University d'Aix Marseille, I don't know how to spell it, Pak Ali will explain, France. So Pak Ali has a master degree from France and now candidate of doctoral degree in political science from Universitas Pajajaran, Bandung. Pak Ali will explain on detail about the historical context of the Kashmir. Please welcome Pak Ali.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang kami hormati Bapak Asep, Bapak Firmala, kemudian kami hormati Ibu Lia Natalia dan juga Ibu Debbie, and distinguished juga honorable distinguished speaker from India, and also ladies and gentlemen here at the floor. Good evening. Sudah sore kan ini?
Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon. My presentation will be focused on the introduction. I'm wondering if you know where is Pakistan or in India. So mostly I will be speaking in Bahasa Indonesia, because you know that from the beginning we already listen to English. Maybe I can help you to translate or maybe to describe briefly about our issue. Teman-teman semua mungkin tadi sudah mendengarkan paparan dalam bahasa Inggris, ya kan? Semoga mengerti ya. Ya, senang kalau teman-teman bisa mengerti. Tapi mungkin ada dari teman-teman, maybe one of you still have difficulties to understand all of the speeches. Jadi mungkin ada yang masih kurang jelas dengan apa yang disampaikan dalam bahasa Inggris tadi. Saya sedikit memberikan gambaran. Yang kita bicarakan hari ini adalah Remembering Kashmir Carnage of October 1947. Artinya apa? Kita memperingati peristiwa, orang bilang pembantaian, orang bilang pembunuhan yang terjadi pada tahun 1947 di Kashmir. Apakah cukup jelas ini? Nah, begitu ya. Nah, peristiwa ini terjadi di Kashmir. Di mana itu Kashmir? Apakah sudah tahu letak Kashmir? Ya, semoga slide saya membantu ya. Ini adalah peta dunia. Jadi teman-teman yang jarang melihat peta dunia, ini bisa dilihat di sini ya. Ini peta dunia. Apakah teman tahu di mana itu India? Nah, saya nggak bawa apa itu pointers ya. Nah, ini India ya. India itu orang bilang sebagai subkontinen atau anak benua karena luas sekali. Nah, tolong diperhatikan. Look at the picture ya. Di map itu India berbatasan dengan Cina. Ya. Dulunya India itu wilayahnya sangat luas ya. Jadi apa yang disebut dengan budaya India itu bukan hanya apa yang kita lihat sekarang negara India, tapi juga mencakup misalnya negara seperti Nepal, seperti Pakistan. Itu juga ya, Pakistan kemudian nanti berbelah ya, ada Pakistan Barat dan Pakistan Timur. Yang barat itu menjadi Bangladesh ya, gitu. Nah, kita tahu bahwa India itu dijajah oleh Inggris. That India was colonized by the British until 1947. Ya, jadi India itu dijajah oleh Inggris sampai dengan tahun 1947. Nah, komposisi dari India pada saat itu adalah di kerajaan-kerajaan kecil, princely states, atau mungkin teman bisa membayangkan apa itu princely states. Mungkin bisa dibayangkan seperti kerajaan Yogyakarta, atau mungkin lebih tepat lagi Mangkunegaran dan Pakualam. Apakah teman-teman mengerti kerajaan Pakualam di Yogyakarta? Ada yang pernah ke Jogja? Nah, kira-kira seperti itu. Jadi ada sekitar 500-an ya, 547 atau 546 kerajaan-kerajaan kecil seperti itu. Nah, pada saat India merdeka pada tahun 1947, diberi kemerdekaan oleh Inggris, maka ada kerajaan-kerajaan yang kemudian memihak kepada Pakistan dan juga kepada India. Kita tahu bahwa India itu mayoritas penduduknya adalah Hindu dan juga Muslim. Nah, teman-teman perhatikan dalam peta saya bahwa dulu mungkin ada pernah mendengar pemimpin seperti Ali Jinnah atau pemikir Muslim seperti Muhammad Iqbal. Dia menginginkan adanya pemisahan antara penduduk yang beragama Islam dengan penduduk yang beragama Hindu atau Buddha atau Sikh gitu. Bisa dipahami ya bahwa itu ada, there is a willing to separate, to partition between population, Muslim population and Hindu population. Karena kita tahu bahwa Hindu dan Muslim itu kadang-kadang berkonflik, ya. Nah, para pendiri Pakistan meyakini bahwa konflik akan berhenti ketika mereka memiliki negara tersendiri, yaitu yang disebut dengan Pakistan. Makanya Pakistan itu memiliki nama Republik Islam Pakistan. Meskipun kemudian beberapa tahun kemudian Pakistan itu terbelah antara Pakistan dan Bangladesh, begitu. Nah, inilah dasarnya. Jadi perbedaan agama dan mungkin juga faktor ekonomi, faktor politik mengakibatkan partisi. Apa itu partisi, teman-teman? Istilah partisi apa? Pengirisan, ya. Jadi diiris, gitu. Jadi namanya wilayah itu diiris. Nah, Anda perhatikan sendiri. Ya, Pakistan, Bangladesh itu diiris di sebelahnya, ya, di sebelah kiri dan sebelah agak kanan, gitu ya, diiris. Itu namanya partisi. Seperti orang Eropa mengiris wilayah Afrika menjadi beberapa bagian sesuai dengan kekuasaan yang mereka miliki. Seperti itu. Inilah yang terjadi. Namanya juga diiris. Diiris itu kehendak siapa kira-kira? Kehendak rakyat ataukah di elit? Penguasa, ya. Persis seperti yang dilakukan oleh negara-negara Eropa ketika mengiris Afrika. Mereka diiris. Kalau mengiris itu kadang-kadang irisannya tidak sesuai dengan kehendak rakyat, ya. Contohnya adalah Kurdi. Kurdi wilayahnya sekarang tidak jelas karena ada sebagian yang masuk ke Syria, ada sebagian masuk ke Turki atau juga sebagian ke Irak. Itu namanya partisi, mengiris sekehendak hatinya. Nah, begitu juga di sini, ya. Pakistan, di wilayah Pakistan tidak semuanya Muslim, ada Hindu. Di wilayah India tidak semuanya Hindu, ada juga yang Muslim. Nah, oleh karena itu dulu ada namanya migrasi besar-besaran. Orang Hindu yang ada di Pakistan harus pergi ke India, harus pindah. Orang yang Muslim di India juga pindah ke Pakistan. Ini migrasi terbesar mungkin dalam sejarah umat Islam, umat manusia, begitu. Jadi seperti itu. Nah, teman-teman bisa bayangkan dalam situasi seperti itu ada negara, wilayah yang tidak mau ikut Pakistan dan tidak mau ikut India. The next slide, please. Nah, di sini ya. Di situ dikatakan bahwa Kashmir adalah wilayah yang mencoba untuk mandiri, independen, ya. Tidak ingin berpihak kepada India dan juga tidak berpihak kepada Pakistan. That is in the beginning, gitu ya. Kenapa? Karena di Kashmir itu sebagian besar penduduknya itu adalah Muslim. Tapi penguasa, ya, Maharaja yang berkuasa saat itu adalah Hindu, gitu. Jadi kalau terlalu dekat dengan Pakistan, penduduk yang Hindu merasa terancam. Kalau terlalu dekat dengan India, yang Muslim merasa terancam. Jadi pinginnya kemudian tetap independen, gitu. Tetapi dalam perjalanan waktu, ya beginilah namanya negara jika tidak memiliki kekuasaan yang terlalu kuat, maka menjadi rebutan antara India dengan Pakistan. Dan salah satu akibat daripada perebutan tersebut adalah yang kita peringati hari ini. Perebutan wilayah itu kemudian mengakibatkan pembantaian, gitu ya. Mungkin ada yang ingat dengan peristiwa, mungkin tidak terlalu persis, gitu ya. Bagaimana Timor Leste, ada pihak-pihak yang ingin bergabung dengan Indonesia, tapi juga ada pihak-pihak yang menginginkan negara sendiri. Tapi dalam situasi seperti itu kemudian muncullah konflik, yang konflik itu mengakibatkan pertumpahan darah. Seperti itu. Makasih, ada slide saya masih ada. Terus, oh ya. Ya, jadi penduduk saat itu ya, tahun 1991 sensus penduduk 77 Muslim, 20% Hindu, 3% adalah agama yang lain. Jadi di India itu ada Muslim, Hindu, ada Sikh, dan ada Buddhis. Jadi ya kita memahami bahwa dalam masyarakat yang plural itu mempertahankan keharmonisan Itu juga tidak mudah seperti itu. That is the background of the political social conflicts in what we call Kashmir, which is until today is indisputable. Jadi persoalan Kashmir sampai sekarang masih apa namanya, belum sepenuhnya terselesaikan ya. Oleh karena itu kita di sini untuk mendiskusikannya. That's all, kurang lebih saya benar itu yang mudah-mudahan ini sedikit membantu pemahaman teman-teman mengenai what we are discussing today. Terima kasih, thank you for all your attention. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Applause for Mr. Ali Nurjaman for presentation very simple on background of Kashmir. And in Bahasa Indonesia, of course. I just to remind that student who has an assignment, all our presentation will be available in campus here. Next speaker is Ms. Debbie Avianti, our colleague, and she is lecturer of International Relations at Department of Political Science here, University of Muhammadiyah Jakarta. Also Director of Laboratory of Indonesian and Global Studies, LIGIS, Faculty of Political Science, Universitas Muhammad Jakarta. Ms. Debbie is a member of Asia Center Board. Currently, she is a candidate doctoral degree at postgraduate program of International Relations, Universitas Padjadjaran, Bandung. She received master degree in political science from University of Indonesia, and she was awarded Australian Scholarship of Counterterrorism Studies in Monash University, Australia, and Fulbright Scholarship for Comparative Politics in Northern Illinois. Is that correct? Illinois, right? Illinois University, USA. Focus of her research included political violence, fringe politics, gender and terrorism, as well as foreign policy and political refugees. Ms. Debbie published several books, including Foreign Policy Analysis, and also several chapter books such as Reparation, Right for the Victim of Terrorism, and Katalisator Kebinekaan Membangun Generasi Inklusif. This year basically has published. So welcome, Ibu Debbie. I believe we will deliver in English as we have audience in New Delhi and speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pak Asep. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, our speakers in New Delhi as well as in UMJ, and also Ibu Lucy, our head of Magister of Political Science, and then Pak Asep, our the upcoming chairman of Leaks. Ya, nanti ada ketua Leaks yang baru itu Pak Asep mulai bulan depan ya, next month. Okay, and then Ibu Natalia, Pak Peramala, and Pak Ali, as well as our speakers online. So, talking about the history, Pak Ali has already explained about how Kashmir and Jammu becomes a land of rivalries between India and Pakistan. And then ever since the conflict, Jammu and Kashmir has a territory which is divided by Pakistan and India. And then the territories is called the line of control. Jadi dibagi, ada wilayah yang membagi, dan itu namanya line of control. Line of control split many families, with people stuck on either side of the divide, unable to visit relatives and friends. Trade across the line has also been disrupted, and over the years of violent conflict, the diverse populations of Jammu and Kashmir on either side of the LOC have become disconnected and mistrustful of each other. Jadi mirip kayak Korsel dan Korut gitu, ada batas yang tidak bisa dilewati sehingga tidak bisa saling mengunjungi keluarganya masing-masing. History measures since 2004 re-established some links across the LOC have been enthusiastically supported by the public right across Kashmir. Nah, sejak 2004, line itu dibuka, jadi mereka sudah bisa saling berkunjung. These openings offer hope for greater collaboration and peace building across the LOC. Jadi sudah mulai ada upaya-upaya perdamaian di sepanjang perbatasan yang membagi dua wilayah tersebut. Okay, next. So peace building in Jammu and Kashmir includes confidence building measures at a national level between the governments of India and Pakistan. And then there are also some two-track diplomacy as well as initiative by the NGOs, institutes, and individuals. The purpose of peace building in Jammu and Kashmir include conflict prevention and reduction of hostilities in the Kashmir Valley. Jadi sebenarnya di wilayah Kashmir itu ada lembah namanya Kashmir Valley dan itu sangat bagus, terkenal dengan pemandangannya yang indah. And other countries such as Russia, United States, and China have also played a de-escalatory role with regard to tensions in the region. And in 2019, as Pak Veramala already explained about the abrogation of Article 370 of the Constitutions of India has changed the fate of Jammu and Kashmir. Jadi dulu ketika mereka membelah menjadi wilayah yang dikuasai Pakistan dan India, di Undang-Undang India itu ada pasal 370 yang membolehkan Kashmir memiliki bendera sendiri dan identitasnya sendiri. Tapi tahun 2019 itu dihapus, jadi dianggap sama dengan bagian lain dari wilayah India. Okay. In an effort to create a peaceful environment and boost economic development, the Indian government decided to remove the Article 370 and Article 15 from the Constitution on August 5th, 2019. Jammu and Kashmir now is equal to all other states and union territories. Jadi sama dengan wilayah lain seperti di bagian-bagian India lainnya. With a new status, Jammu and Kashmir has been moving in the right direction during the last 4 years. Dan sampai sekarang akhirnya mengarah lebih ke arah stabilitas dan perdamaian di wilayah tersebut. Civilian unrest and territorial attacks have come down drastically. The government has allocated more funds for infrastructure development in various areas. More jobs have also been created through various projects. Jadi pemerintah India sejak itu kemudian memberikan banyak pendanaan untuk membangun infrastruktur dan juga membuka lapangan kerja. Okay, next. The impacts of peace in Jammu and Kashmir. Apa yang terjadi setelah ada upaya-upaya perdamaian? In the 4th anniversary of the abrogation of the Article 370 and Article 35 by Prime Minister Modi, data indicates perceptible improvement in the overall security environment apart from significant road, power, and economic infrastructure upgrades in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. The first indicator is about the grenade attacks. Before Article 370 was abrogated, the region witnessed 162 grenades attacks. This number has come down to 138 post-abrogation, a 15% decrease suggesting a positive impact on public safety. Jadi setelah dihapus hak istimewanya disamakan dengan bagian yang lain dari India, justru ledakan-ledakan granat itu malah 15% menurun. Jadi tidak ada lagi kekerasan-kekerasan itu mulai berkurang ketika statusnya kemudian disamakan seperti wilayah lainnya. Okay, and then the blasts. The number of blasts stand at 19 before and after the abrogation. That the number has not increased to a new mark indicates better security measures, intelligence gathering, and a better approach to counterterrorism. And then the third indicator, casualties in blasts. The casualties resulting from blasts have significantly reduced from 57 in the pre-370 period to 13 in the post-370 period, a decrease of 77%. Jadi ada penurunan 77% dari korban ledakan. Jadi signifikan dampaknya. The impact of peace in Jammu and Kashmir after the abrogation of the article in the Constitution also the stand-off fire or hit and run cases. There is a 40 to 7 42% decline in this category from 314 incidents in the pre-370 period to 181 in the post-370 era. The significant decrease indicates that the Jammu and Kashmir police has been able to dominate the roads and localities, pushing the terrorists and their overground workers to lie low. And the next indicator is weapon snatching. There is 60% decrease in this category as the number of incidents was 45 in the pre-370 period and a mere 14 in the post-370 period. A decrease in weapon snatching is a booster for the morale of the forces as it shows that the terrorists are on the back foot. And then another indicator is stone pelting incidents. The most significant marker in this category as a pre-370, there were 5,050 incidents. This number has fallen to 445, marking a remarkable decrease of 92%. Jadi tidak ada lagi insiden pelemparan batu dari yang tadinya ada 5.050 peristiwa menjadi hanya 92 peristiwa. Turun 92%. Hartal ban calls, the number of strike calls reduced from 302 in pre-370 period to 31 in the post-August 5th, 2019 period. This amount to a 90% decline and indicates that the people are no longer living under the threats of terrorists, overground workers, and radical elements. And the next indicator is encounters by security forces and counter-terrorist operations have reduced from 539 in the pre-era to 369 in the post-era, a decrease of 32%. This decrease indicates that the routine life of the public does not get interfered by guns and bullets every time an encounter breaks in the valley. And then another indicator is civilians killed in a terrorist violence. The number has shown a 11% decrease with 155 civilians killed in the pre-3,070 period to 138 in the post-370 period. And then civilians killed during law and order duties, there is 100% decrease in this category with a pre-370 numbers at 132 and post-370 numbers standing at a big zero. Jadi tidak ada lagi korban, hanya 0 korban ketika polisi melakukan upaya penegakan hukum. The injured number during the law and order duties has come down by 99% with a pre-370 figure at 9,303 and the post-370 figure at 117. And then police officers laying down their lives in the line of duty, this has shown a 57% decrease with a pre-370 number at 345 and post-370 number at 150. There is a 94% decrease in instances of police and security forces getting injured with the pre-370 number standing at 13,100 to a decline to 797 in the post-370 period. And then the local recruitment numbers of terrorists as per Jammu and Kashmir Police and Union Home Ministry have fallen from 550 in the pre-era to 448 in the post-era. Simultaneously, the number of arrests of terrorists and terror suspects have gone up from 1,584 in the pre-370 era to 2,504 in the post-era, a remarkable 58% increase, which indicates the efficiency of the city operations. And then abduction, instances of abductions have reduced from 28 in the pre-era to a mere 9 in the post-era, marking a 68% decrease. And then arson, there has been 60% decrease in incidents of arson from 87 in the pre-370 era to 35 in the post-370 era. So we can see some of the better conditions in the security condition in Jammu and Kashmir after 4 years of the implementation of abrogation of the article of 370. And then next, terus Next, 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 next. Okay. Now we can see that Jammu and Kashmir is now a tourist favorite for its scenic splendor. Mountains, plentiful wildlife, exquisite monuments, hospitable people and local people, handicrafts. And the number of tourists now is increasingly significant in this area. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih. Thank you very much, Ibu Debbie, who has explains the development, latest development, including reducing violence, because Bu Debbie is specialist in peace and security approach in her study. And then let's continue to the last one speaker, as we have limited time until 4:30. So hopefully we still have a Q&A at the time. Ms. Telly Natalia is the last speaker, and she is holder of Master of Social Science, a postgraduate degree from Paramadina University in Jakarta, and she is indeed journalist based in Jakarta also, and has a lot of experience from various media groups such as Reuters, International Agency, the Australian, Jakarta Globe, and Metro Global Network of Metro TV. Now she is working as a freelancer. All this year, Ms. Telly Natalia has been working to promote Indonesian tradition and culture while defending human rights, particularly the rights of asylum seekers and refugees. And she, as a note, she also took part in 1998 famous Indonesian student movement protest at the time, who has born reformation at the time. Please welcome Ms. Telly Natalia as the last speaker. Tepuk tangan. Silakan. Yes.
Selamat sore. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Masih semangat? Kayaknya ngantuk ya. Ini berapa nih? Oh ya, masih waras ya. Okay, good afternoon all of you, students, participants, and speakers, other speakers in Jakarta and also online in India. Thank you, and it's my great honor this is my second time to be a speaker in this university. And it's an interesting topic, remembering Kashmir Carnage of October 1947, where actually, as an Indonesian, I'm not really understand about it, but then I try to read a lot about it. And then, next slide, please. Yeah, I'm starting my presentation by again touch the issue of partition of India, because this is the cause of the problem. Of course, the partition of India actually it's a problem actually, political problem between Ali Jinnah and Mahatma Gandhi. Ali Jinnah was someone who was very liberal, studied in London, and inspired with liberal thoughts. But at the time, he lost his chance in Congress, in Indian National Congress, to Mahatma Gandhi. Therefore, he came up, after meeting Muhammad Iqbal, he came up with an idea that people in India with the same religion should be living in the same place only, cannot be separated, and living like in harmonious, like us now in Indonesia, homogen. They want to be like that. Actually, Ali Jinnah was inspired by conflict in between Irish, Christian and Catholic. That's why the separation also over there, when the Catholic and Protestant, they live separately, otherwise they are always in conflict. Based on that that he came out with the idea of partition of India, Muslims supposed to live in either side rather than together with other non-Muslims, especially with Hindus. Then the partition caused a lot, claimed a lot of lives. There are mixed data about it. Some say 20 million to 20 million people died during that period of time, and also around 1% of global population at that years, at the time in 1947, they have to leave their origin places at the time, 1%. It's about 200 million people at the time. And it's only in India alone. Back, please. Yeah, so at the time, no, another one, the previous slide, please. Yeah, another one, the earlier one, the first.
Before that.
More, yeah. So at the time, when British Kingdom gave independence to India in August 15, actually British government, they didn't really pay attention to the princely states, including Jammu and Kashmir, and they give them a free option to choose, actually 3 options. So you can join India, or you can join Pakistan, or you can be independent states. So at the time, Hari Singh was the last Hindu king at Jammu and Kashmir and other area, as previous speakers explained. He was decided actually for Kashmir and Jammu to remain independent. But at the time, Pakistan, because it's very close border, as Pa Ali already explained about the map, they order, because in Jammu and Kashmir, a lot of Muslim population for sure. Therefore, the Pakistani leaders and government at the time, they said, you're supposed to join us rather than be part of India. But then Maharaja at the time kept the idea to be independent. But then in Jammu, there is a Muslim conference, which they decided to join Pakistan, and the national conference, which is in Kashmir, they support the idea of the Maharaja to be independent. Pakistan at the time gave the deadline for Kashmir to join Pakistan within like 12 days. Then because there is no decision and the Maharaja was insisted at the time, Pakistan leaders finally approved to invade Kashmir. Next. They sending at the time, next slide please. This is also mixed data. Some say 2,000 tribesmen, which is a tribal from, right now we know Pashtun, from Pashtun, but other data say that 20,000 Pashtun fighters enter Kashmir at the time. It's around 21st of October, they're already in the border. It's also, beside these tribesmen, also the military of Pakistan, the soldiers of Pakistan. It was blood and all, like, at the time, they also tried to engage with local soldiers of Kashmir at the time. Some of them who supported Pakistan finally deserted and joined Kashmir. That's why the borderline was fallen into Pakistan fighters. Next. They joined Pakistan tribal, and in 22 October, when they already occupied the area of Kashmir and Jammu, then they killing non-Muslims, not only non-Muslim, but also Muslim, who supported the idea to be part of India or be independent. So it's also arson, looting, they rape women, and also estimated 3 days fighting. There are estimated up to 5,000 people in Kashmir alone were killed. Over 1,600 women were kidnapped. There is no further data until now where they are or what happened to them after that. But for sure, these 5,000 people who were killed during the clash, they are included in over 2 million people or 20 million Indians descendants who died during the partition or the mobilization post the partition of India. Next. So to give you the idea what was going on, let's see the video, the short video. It's a 3-minute video.
On October 22, 1947, Kashmiris experienced a horrific turning point when Pakistani raiders, accompanied by the Pakistan Army, launched Operation Gulmarg. These invaders, responsible for looting, plundering, rape, and murder, sought to capture Kashmir. India could only watch as the atrocities escalated. But when Srinagar was under direct threat, Maharaja Hari Singh acceded to India, leading to Indian forces arriving in Srinagar on October 27. The 1947 conflict claimed over 35,000 lives, with thousands kidnapped and sold as slaves in western Pakistan. Disturbingly, parents sometimes poisoned or killed their daughters to protect them from the invaders. Survivors recount the horrors of that period, emphasizing that the raiders, despite claiming to be liberators, were primarily there to pillage and commit violence. The mercenaries from Pakistan invaded the newly independent India, committing atrocities that shocked the world. The raiders, who were armed and equipped by the Pakistani army, targeted villages in the Jammu and Kashmir region, killing, raping, and looting. One of the most notorious incidents of the invasion was the massacre of Poonch. On October 22, 1947, a horde of tribesmen descended on the town of Poonch, killing thousands of Hindus and Sikhs. The massacre was so brutal that it even horrified some of the Pakistani soldiers who were present. Another horrific incident was the massacre of Mirpur. On November 2, 1947, the tribesmen attacked the town of Mirpur, killing an estimated 25,000 Hindus and Sikhs. The victims were thrown into the Jhelum River, and their bodies were seen floating for miles downstream. The atrocities committed by the attackers from Pakistan were not limited to Poonch and Mirpur. Villages all over Jammu and Kashmir were attacked, and thousands of innocent people were killed. The invaders also looted and destroyed property, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. The Indian army eventually managed to repel the invasion, but the atrocities committed by the tribal mercenaries left a lasting scar on the psyche of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. In addition to the atrocities committed against Hindus and Sikhs, the marauders from Pakistan also targeted Muslims who were opposed to the partition of India. These Muslims were often accused of being traitors to Pakistan, and they were subjected to the same brutal treatment as the Hindus and Sikhs. Shocked and horrified by this attack which killed many of his bravest Dogra Rajput soldiers and commanders, the Maharaja of Kashmir, Hari Singh, turned to India and approved the accession of the state to the Union of India because he realized what terrible threat loomed over his people from Pakistan. The world largely ignored the 1947 atrocities, and this lack of accountability allowed Pakistan to continue breaking agreements, committing the Bangladesh genocide in 1971, and killing innocents in Baluchistan and Waziristan. Additionally, Pakistan's support for terrorist groups in Kashmir has resulted in the loss of innocent lives. It is time for the global community to recognize the significance of these events. Bangladesh's call for March 25th to be recognized as World Genocide Day, and the designation of October 22nd as Black Day, should be supported internationally. Moreover, Pakistan must face sanctions for its support of terrorist groups across the region. Unless such actions are taken, Pakistan is unlikely to change its behavior, and innocent lives in the region will continue to be at risk.
Yeah. So we already see actually it's terrible, and what we say like the carnage. It's also lead to ethnic cleansing to some extent, and you can see it from the video. It's so terrible. We experienced such kind of thing before in Indonesia during May 1998, but it's not that bad. I mean, and until now, at least in Indonesia, we already have the government statement acknowledge that 1998 May riot as a violation, gross violation of human rights. But this particular event in Kashmir, 3 days while up to 5,000 people died only because they want to stay in their land. It's no one responsible until today. There is no one raised the issue to ask responsibility, for example, in this case, in my perspective, from Pakistan government. Next, yeah. At the time, Pakistan views, it's about Maharaja Hari Singh, what they tried to spread among Kashmir people, that the Maharaja Singh is a tyrant, and then propaganda made that Maharaja persecuted an innocent Muslim, which is not true. There is no fact supported that claim from Pakistan. And as the majority, they have the arguments consistent with their argument that as Jammu and Kashmir have majority Muslims, they must be part of Pakistan. Pakistan also, until now, they never regret about what was happened in October 1947 to Kashmir people, and they also honor those who attacked at the time, raped the woman, looting the precious goods, and killing a lot of people as a liberator messiah. Next. So after the third day, then finally the Maharaja asked India to assist and help. By the presence of India, of course, at the time can stop the killing, but it doesn't stop following events after the 3 days massacres, if I may say. And it's contributed to the instability in the region until the government, and at the time because of the agreement in 27th of October between the Maharaja Hari Singh and the government of India, then India assists the security and help the security of Kashmir. Then in India constitution, it puts Jammu and Kashmir got their special autonomy. So as Ibu Devi has explained, they can have their own flags and symbols and so on, and they can decide their own fate. But then in August 2019, the government of India abrogates the Article 370. It's allowed make now Jammu and Kashmir equal with other parts of India. It means the government of India also has a responsibility to develop the country equally with other parts of India. Next. Yeah, this is the current situation, as Ibu Devi already explained also. Connectivity is open. You can visit now Kashmir easily because there are direct flights. Also, tourism industry is on rising, and also you can go by train for sure there from other cities in India. Next. This is all data that you can see. The government tried to treat people of Jammu and Kashmir equal with the people of India in other parts of India. And you can read. Next. Next. And thank you. That's my presentation. Feel free to ask questions. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Ms. Liana Natalia. So before we are Q&A, please allow me and allow us to have a photo together. Are we going to photo together here or online? Online also. Please, Pak Daman, provide the platform and our 1 or 2 minutes for photo session. We are standing up here, and then also online appear on screen if possible. So we will have full documentation. Student will be later, yeah, or join us. Later, student will be later after the presenter and our colleague here. Please bear with me. Thank you very much. His present still in online. We will have 1 or 2 questions. Please directly and mention to us. Please help with the microphone. Thank you. Please mention your name and your program. And I think we still have 2 respected panelists, a speaker from New Delhi and Jammu and Kashmir may answer the question. Please go ahead. Just push the button. Please help.
Yes. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Before of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Mutia Alivia. I am from political science. Based on the history of the Kashmir that was explained earlier, I want to ask something. What are the challenges for the Kashmir today until now? And what has the local government today for the Kashmir? I mean, what the government's doing for Kashmir until now, until today? I think that's it for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mutia, for the question. Applause for Mutia. Please, we would like to invite Lieutenant General Retired Sanjay Kulkarni, who has, I believe, still online with us, and hopefully to answer the question, the challenge, and what happens today nowadays in Kashmir. Please. Again, the question is, what is the current situation and challenges in Kashmir? Maybe Lieutenant General Retired Sanjay Kulkarni will answer the question. Please, Pak Daman, arrange the online to hear our question. Is still Mr. Sanjay Kulkarni is still with us and can hear us? As we are, thank you very much. So unmute and answer the question of our student question. Please, Pak.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me, please?
Yes. Yes, we can hear.
Yes. Firstly, at the outset, I must compliment every speaker for having deep insight into the happenings of Jammu and Kashmir. And it's so nice to hear each one of them presenting it in a very lucid manner. First, as regards the question as to what are the challenges, obviously the challenges are there to ensure that the progress, the development is there, the employment facilities and the options available to the various people of Jammu and Kashmir have increased considerably after the abrogation of Article 370. Which has led to over 20 million tourists that are going to the valley. The kind of development that we see is all around. The kind of opportunities that the students as also the entrepreneurs from the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir are getting to go around the entire, be able to see how best could be able to benefit from the benefits that have come to them from after abrogation. The corruption has gone down considerably. The administration is extremely responsive to the people's needs. The security forces are absolutely winning the hearts and minds of the people, which can be seen. And therefore, I personally would say that the current situation is much, much better, as one of the speakers brought out by giving out the number of incidents that have come down in terms of grenade throwing, in terms of the strikes which have taken place, in terms of the kind of militancy which is there. It has considerably gone down, and we are hopeful that with people-centric approach, things will improve. And I would request everyone from Indonesia and the world over to come and see for themselves. It is nothing. It's a democracy. It's absolutely open. There are airports that are open, the railways that are going, that are open, the roads that are open. Anybody and everybody can go for themselves to see that Jammu and Kashmir is a very vibrant union territory, preparing itself for various local elections, and sooner than later it will get its statehood as to ensure that the development still takes further impetus from what it is right now. And I would say thank you very much for for seeing the interest that Jammu and Kashmir is seeing, and this vibrancy will be seen in the state of Jammu and Kashmir after the abrogation of Article 370, and it's completely having got amalgamated as part of India with no special favors and no special this thing, but as absolutely no discrimination whatsoever, which the people of Jammu and Kashmir seem to be enjoying. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for a valuable presentation and asking the question. Maybe Mr. Ashwani Kumar Chrango, I would like to invite to answer the question if you have present your view on the challenges, the current situation in Kashmir. Mr. Ashwani, please. He's already offline. So this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our seminar. With the conclusion of the international conference, I want to express my sincere appreciation to our distinguished speakers from Indonesia and India with their outstanding contribution, and I believe expertise and thoughtful presentation have been contributing to the quality of our international seminar today. And I would like also to extend to my gratitude to our online participants, and also thank to the team of the Faculty of Social and Political Science at Universitas Muhammadiyah Jakarta for their dedication to manage this international seminar. So again, thank you very much and goodbye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Back to MC and applause for all.
Thank you, Dr. Asep Setiawan, for guide the main agenda's discussion. So for all attendees, we kindly ask you to please come to the front stage because we're gonna take the picture together. For the comment, please kindly help for the photo session. To all attendees, please stand and come to the front stage. To all attendees, please be stand.